There you go. Dress to impress. I should get a jacket on.
Hey guys,
Hi, Mamie.
how are you?
Tremendous. Some reason I'm not hearing you, Jonathan.
Oh, it happens every time I look around. So yeah, good evening, everybody. How are you, Mamie?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you very much. So you've had a few of your guests have been working out pretty nicely, huh?
Yeah, hey, they're trying. They're trying. We'll see how it goes. We're getting started over here.
All right. Very good. Very good. That is a wonderful thing to see.
Yes, it is.
Folks need what we have, and that's just undeniable.
That's for sure.
All right. So some more folks are joining us. See a couple of familiar names. Mamie Nesbitt is with us. Dolores Levet is with us. Rob Martin has joined us as well.
Hello, Jonathan.
How are you, my friend?
Doing fantastic.
Wonderful. You see, there's a few others that are joining us too. I don't recognize the name Bertha Montgomery. So
That's the superstar. She's the superstar.
Okay, well, welcome,
Yeah,
Bertha.
just call her that.
Well, welcome, Bertha Superstar Montgomery.
Yeah, that's me, superstar. I'm on my micro daily.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
That means that's the story we're definitely going to be able to hear tonight.
Yes.
We have Mike Ingram that's with us. MZ Rachel Dixon, welcome. And V Perry has joined us as well. So it's nice to have you all with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started. It's just a couple minutes after 7:30, 7:32. And we announced the 7:30 start time because it's a good time. It's a good time in the evening. It also helps with those who happen to be on the West Coast. So by this time, Jeff is either very, very hungry or he just finished having his dinner.
Yeah, if I could show you my belly, you'll see that I just finished, but I did it fast. We're in between Zooms. These are so much fun. Love to get together with our Micro Daily family and meet incredible new people that are just cutting it up, making it happen.
Well, you know, Jeff, it's amazing. It's amazing to see, you know, what's happening and where things are just moving forward. I'm excited that people are getting so many benefits from the product.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you who I've never met before, my name is Jonathan Jones, and my co-host is Jeff Ashby. So it's my privilege to be your host and moderator for the evening. We're going to have a brief meeting, and we're not going to have a very long meeting, but we do have a couple things that we want to share with you. So to kind of get started, there's a story that we think that you and everybody should hear. So we're going to just share that with you real quick. So let's see if we can get this to play. I tried to display something over the weekend.
I've got it set up if you don't.
Okay, excellent. All right, let's see if this goes.
Good evening. I just wanted to comment and say that I've been on the Micro Daily now since about April. And yes, my A1C, I was considered pre-diabetic, and my A1C has dropped tremendously. And also, my brother in Virginia, he's diabetic very bad. He takes the insulin and 10 other medications. And what I did, I sent him 4 bottles of Micro Daily, and I told him to take it 2 times a day. And he's been taking it now for about the last, I guess, 6 weeks. Well, anyway, another brother of mine called and asked me, what did you send Robert Van? So I told him some supplements, Micro Daily. He says, you know, he looks good. He says before he was like dying right before our eyes. His skin was dried out. He was just looked so unhealthy, and he had lost so much weight. He says now he's like a flower that was dying and was watered, and he has come back to life. So even Robert Van told me, he called and he says, I feel better. He says, I'm picking up weight. He says, and I have an overall feeling of healthiness. But anyway, I told him not to stop taking his medications, to wait until he go and, to see his doctor, take his blood work and let the doctor take him off of his medications. So far, so good. He's doing much, much better. And I just wanted to let you know that Micro Daily did it.
Very good. Thank you very much for sharing that story with us, Martha. And I'm sure
that's fabulous.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. Now, before you leave, Martha, I think you held back, and there's a couple of other benefits that you personally have experienced from Micro Daily. Would you mind sharing the rest of your story?
Well, for me, I was having a lot of problems with allergies. I was allergic to foods such as eggs, peanut butter, dairy products, and they were giving me asthma-like symptoms. I would wheeze and so on. So when I started taking a Micro Daily, stop. And I found that I could eat eggs and peanut butter, but I mean, I didn't go overboard. I got good sense, But I can now eat the foods that I was allergic to. And it has also helped me I had arthritis really bad. I could not straighten out my fingers in the morning. My hands were so stiff. Now I can actually move my fingers. And the first time it happened, I was like a little baby, seeing my hands for the first time. So it has really helped my stiffness in my body, where I'm not as stiff anymore. And I have a tendency, I do exercise, but my body gets very sore. But now I'm able, for some reason, my body doesn't get as sore as it used to by me using a Micro Daily. So it has really helped me a lot.
Jonathan, you're going to need to adjust your microphone again. No, I mean, we're not hearing you. It's just like this. It's quiet. There we go.
Yeah, I think for some reason, I killed it. I don't know what happened. So thank you. But I just thought it might be a good idea to share that story with you. And the reason why I'm particularly fond of that story, and I'm going to ask Jeff a couple of questions here. So I'm going to add Jeff to the screen here. But I'm particularly fond of that story because she talks about diabetes. And when I asked her to tell her story that day on that meeting, it wasn't because I knew she was going to tell a story about diabetes. I actually 100% expected her to just tell her story about her arthritis and her fingers, because that's the only thing I knew about. So she starts going on about her brother with this diabetes and I guess, was it her A1C that also dropped as well?
Yes.
Okay, so she started out with her A1C issue, then her brother's issue, then she went into her fingers with the arthritis. So, and listen, folks, if you're here for the first time, please understand, we share stories with you like this, and testimonials are purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you, because no one knows the clinical circumstances surrounding, what caused the person to have results like that. And Engage Global does not make any medical claims, does not claim that any of their products are a treatment or cure for disease. I'm not making any claims about that. I know Jeff does not make those claims because he's pretty anal about making sure that we get that disclaimer in there every time because the FDA has not evaluated those comments. But how is it, Jeff, that Martha could tell us so many things about what is happening to her, and she believes that was microdaily that caused? Why is that, Jeff? How is that possible?
Well, she even says it right there in her little testimony. The only thing that she has changed is the microdaily. In fact, if you'd have let that play out a little bit more, she goes on and explains that she's spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month and not seen the benefit that she is from the microdaily. And so there is truly something extremely unique about Dr. Persad's formulation, that combination, quantity, and form, that CQF standard, that is just a higher standard than anybody else out there in the supplement space is adhering to. And so, you know, there's no wonder that Dr. Persad's formulation carries a U.S. patent. And if individuals were to look that up, it's patent number 7605145. You could just go on and do a Google patent search. You're going to find Dr. Persad's name is at the top of it. And that patent actually reads, once again, we're not making this claim. All we're doing is referencing a patent that has been issued for Dr. Persad's formulation that reads micronutrient formulation for the treatment of diabetes mellitus. And so that is type 2 diabetes. There we have it. So yeah, I mean, Martha could be getting those kind of benefits. And if we were to take some time, I could share on numerous other video testimonials, and we might even have some people on here live that could share their experiences. And all we're doing is just correcting a micronutrient deficiency that exists in the individuals that are experiencing these kind of benefits.
And I think that's the point that everybody needs to try to dial into, is that if you give the body what it needs, what it's craving, it'll work properly. It'll do what it needs to do. We have been conditioned over the, I don't want to say centuries, but I'm going to say decades, because pharmaceuticals didn't really take off until penicillin was invented. Once they discovered the way that penicillin would work on bacteria, that's when the whole pharmaceutical industry took off. And then, of course, eventually they figured out that you could create things like, what do you call those drugs, like Valium, tranquilizers. You know, so when the pharmaceutical industry took off, but prior to that, people looked for natural things to feel better. There weren't drugs. For centuries, there were not drugs. So, but what Dr. Persad did here now was cause the body to kick itself into gear. Every one of us has T cells, and it's those T cells that identify free radicals and things that don't belong in the body, captures them, passes them out of the body as waste. And glutathione is a very important component of that. But I think we should, Jeff, because right at the beginning, Robin said that there's a superstar. He said, just called Bertha Superstar Montgomery. I personally would like to hear, what the superstar's story is. So Bertha, if you're willing to share your story, can you unmute yourself and then just tell us why it is that you've decided to take microdaily? And if there's anyone else that would like to please share their story, we'd love to hear it. This is your chance.
Yes, I just started on it. This is my second day. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and overweight. And I like emotional eating, a lot of things. I was just in a car accident also. I was hit by a drunk driver, and I have neck and shoulder injury from that. I've been suffering with for the last month, so I'm in constant pain. And what I did was, when my products came in, I immediately started on the microdaily. I took the 3 capsules. I took the one from the brain, the eyes, the collagen for the rest of my body. so far I haven't felt a significant difference because I'm taking meds, and what I want to do is I'm not going to stop taking my meds. I'm going to be a good girl. So I want my doctor yelling at me.
Well, you heard
Um,
Martha. Martha said, don't stop taking your meds.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on them and take my micro daily. What I'm doing is mega dosing. So I'm taking it like every every 4 to 6 hours around the clock. I'm trying to watch the clock. And one of the things I did notice, TMI, elimination was more. So I'm thinking what happened was when I took the micro daily, the first time I forgot, it said to eat it with food, to take it with food, and I didn't. I took it on an empty stomach. And so whatever residual from medication or what I ate before, I kept going to the bathroom. So
Yeah.
it was like getting all the garbage out of my body. So I did notice that. That was the main thing. And that was the only, because I said I'm not going to take anything else. I'm going to only take the micro daily and just, my normal food eating, try to eat better and do that. So I did notice that was one of the main issues. So I'm going to continue on it, and just every week when every chance I get when I get on the call, because I'm monitoring everything that because I did, like Rob was talking about the tingling in his feet. I was having, all of a sudden I was having that. So I noticed that even today, that has subsided. It started, just started, I think last night, this morning, probably something I ate. And I noticed when I start the micro daily, I noticed as the day went on, because I kept taking, like I took it again, I noticed the tingling did stop. That, because I was like, because I was walking, I said, oh, my feet are tingling. And when I took the micro daily again, I haven't had that again. So, and that was pretty quick. So I thought that was amazing.
That's that's quite significant.
Yeah.
Bertha.
Yeah, I was actually shocked because it had started. I was walking around earlier today, and I noticed, because when I felt it, I said, "Oh my God, it must be something I ate," And I'm trying to. I actually went to the health food store, and I started, because I'm a snacker. I do emotional eating, and I started buying healthy snacks. Things, whole grains and whole grain popcorn or things like that. And because yesterday, I have to admit, I had a couple of slices of pizza. Although I had was spinach and broccoli white cheese pizza, but I guess the carbs from that probably aggravated me. And
well, Bertha, that's making wiser decisions, definitely, and it's exactly what we would encourage someone to do while they're taking micro daily. As you start making adjustments like that, you're working along with your body's efforts to heal itself. So what you consider to be not important and what you might consider to be TMI is not. Jeff, tell us why is it that she might have had that reaction where, she found either bowel movements were greater than before, or tingling in her feet, which could have been signs of neuropathy. Why would that change?
It's all it derives back to Dr. Prasad's formulations that were created to support the body in the body's natural responses. And so Bertha even kind of filled in some of the details. She says, I may not have had the best stuff there in that whole digestive tract. And the body's first response, not a reaction, the body's first response was to eliminate a heavier than normal movement, just to just get that stuff out of there. And I can tell you through experience, personal, and then a lot of other people that we have dealt with, that will continue on in different cycles. As soon as the body feels like it's supported enough, that it's on the top of its game, it's going to let other stuff go as well. But in addition to that, we're already seeing her making better choices. And I can assure you that as this happens and the body is able to fill that nutritional void that is there, a lot of the cravings will go away because the body is satiated with the micronutrients. So look forward to that, Bertha. It's not just now, but on into the future. You're going to enjoy some let's say increased willpower because you don't have something inside of you saying, I gotta have that. Yeah.
That's right. Because the micronutrients now is supplying what the body needs. So, but thank you, Bertha, for sharing your story. We have Rachel Dixon that also has a story she'd like to share.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm
don't sound like
wife's
Rachel.
Name. I'm under my wife's name, but my name is Henry Dixon, and
Hello, Henry Dixon. Welcome.
Yes. How you doing, Jonathan?
Very good.
I've been dealing with diabetes for a while now, and my diabetes has constantly gotten higher. And I was sent to a specialist to have my diabetes checked. And once I got into that doctor, he immediately wanted to put me on insulin. I explained to him that I did not want to take insulin, and I did not take it up to this day. But what I did do is I reached out to Jonathan and explained to him what my situation was and what I was currently taking. And at that time, my wife and I both take the Microdaily. I believe we was doing like 2 tablets twice a day. And I was recommended to take 3 tablets 3 times a day. And when I started, my sugar fasting level was a 293. And I can currently say today, I'm down at a 180. And it's progressively going down. And a lot of the symptoms that I were having, like being fatigued, and I still have a little bit of the tingling in the feet. But we've also changed our diet. We've eliminated a lot of carbs, such as rice and bread. We're drinking a dandelion tea that we also was recommended to take. And I noticed my energy level is really going up. We're hitting the gym now, and we're in the gym 4 times a week and riding a bicycle, and also just trying to get the body to help also burn sugar, as the Microdaily also assists in helping us lower the A1C. But I am convinced that Microdaily is definitely the way to go. And we're here for life. I mean, we was on the seminar Sunday as well, and I don't want to get long-winded because somebody else may have a testimony, but we was on the seminar on Zoom Sunday, and we also noticed the other product that was introduced, and we will be getting that as well. But Microdaily has done wonders for me, and I normally reach out to Jonathan in a text and let him know, hey, this is my progress, but totally happy 110%.
Well, thank you very much, Henry, for sharing your story. Thank you for coming on and relating it here. I hadn't heard the end results of that until now, so it's always nice to see when anybody gets those kinds of results. So, Jeff, would you mind showing us that portion of that science brochure that might connect? It may resonate with a bunch of folks because I've seen in that brochure that Dr. Prasad wrote a book on using vitamins and minerals to treat diabetes. And you mentioned what the
Absolutely.
is, but I'm gonna just jump off the screen here, and I want you to just kind of show it so people can see this live and up personal, please.
Awesome. So what Jonathan is referencing is this book. This is Daily Nutrition to Live Your Best Life, the world's most scientifically validated micronutrient supplements. And if you don't already have a PDF copy of this or a hard copy, get back with the individual who invited you on to tonight's call. But it just opens up. Somehow I got muted. I am so sorry. I didn't recognize it until I just saw it here. But as I open up this booklet, it's a 32-page booklet. There's a lot of information in there. but it states right out, made to protect, built to sustain. That is the purpose of it. I'm going to take this and just show you my copy, a PDF copy of it. This is right in the center, and this is how we kind of started out here tonight. CQF is what sets us apart. So Jonathan and I were talking about this, and it's right here in the science booklet, the right combination of ingredients, the right quantity of the ingredients, which is the ratio of one ingredient versus another, and then also the right forms of these ingredients. So you can give this brochure to somebody, they can read for themselves. It's a fantastic addition to a doctor's office. There's a lot of places you can use it, but what Jonathan was referencing is back here on the second to last page, and it has Dr. Persad's covers of several of the books that he has written. And it just right there, if you look at the ones that are easy to read, Fight Parkinson's and Huntington's along the bottom line, Fight Cancer, Fight Heart Disease, Fight Alzheimer's, and then what is it that we were talking about tonight? Right there, if you look, it says Vitamins Against Cancer. Right next to that, it says Fight Diabetes. And then Treating Concussions and Traumatic Brain Injuries on the other side of that. So you can see these are just a few of Dr. Persad's works, but we actually have the human clinical trials listed in this booklet. So I've just gone back one more page. This is the diabetes type 2 protection study that they did, done with Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. It was a 2-year-long study with the U.S. Army, and these were veterans that were within the hospital. Well, there was enough data gathered, enough information that was collected that Dr. Persad and his research team actually submitted all of this data to the U.S. Patent Office. And this is the page right across from it, and it's what I referenced earlier. On October 20th of 2009, that patent number 7605145 was issued to Dr. Persad and his team, and it reads micronutrient formulation for the treatment of diabetes mellitus. So absolutely incredible information that we can reference. Once again, when we do this, we need to make sure, and I'm going to put the disclaimer up on the screen right now, Engage Global does not claim that our products diagnose, treat, cure, heal, or prevent any disease or injury. Engage Global's products do, however, address our deficiencies and provide our bodies with the nutrition that we are lacking. So it's incredible, Jonathan, when we can reference this type of research, this type of data, this type of just proof that this is different than any other supplement that is out there on the market. And there on that CQF page, and I love the size of this new container here. When you can see that, I'll get the light to shine on it just right. That CQF seal on there, that standard that Dr. Persad has insisted on is just amazing. And boy, yeah, after Sunday and that testimonial from Michi, I took your video and I actually sectioned out that little that little one. I've shared it a couple of times today with people saying, you know what, this is the foundational health product for everything that we do here. This MicroDaily EMF, the radiation defense, and I'll tell you what, this is the you talk about a 1-2 punch. These are things that will never be without. In fact, just with the check yesterday, payday for everybody, and Helen and I have already committed a good portion of our check to making sure we have enough of this on hand. I don't want to run out. I mean, we've set back quite a few bottles of the MicroDaily EMF, because just like it states there in that booklet, I'm going to go back to it quick, and you don't need to take yourself off the screen, Jonathan. But if I go back to that booklet right here, that first page that we come to, as we open it up, made to protect, built to sustain. Okay, that is sustaining life for these soldiers. So not just to protect, but also to sustain. It's significant when that supplement that we're talking about tonight, this is the original military package, but it was designed with this Desert Storm color, with this unique clamshell so that the pills are protected from each other. And if you were to look closely at it, it's got an actual webbing built into it that wicks the moisture away from the capsules, because I tell you this, the soldiers perspire. And where it's right there in their fatigue pockets, the only thing that would really activate those capsules is that moisture, because they had to pass some pretty rigorous, basically shelf stable, up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit in order for it to go out to the troops. So interestingly enough, and I'm just kind of being all Mr. Chatty Cathy here tonight, but if you look on the bottom of any of our Micro Daily products, it has a lot number. There's not an expiration date. It's like, what? Well, it's because that original formula had the shelf stability built right into it, because this is not just ground up herbs in a bottle. These are micronutrients at the molecular level. And that was a long explanation to say that we've set back quite a bit of this ourselves for the future. That's because right. Just like this was designed for the military, this and water would sustain their life a week at a time, because there's enough for an entire week's worth of dosing. Who knows what's going to happen down the road? But we've had individuals actually consume just this, the Micro Daily EMF and water, for over 6 weeks. Okay. That's life sustaining right there. So I know I just felt compelled to throw that out here tonight. There's just a couple of dozen of us on here tonight, but maybe somebody needed to know that. So.
Oh yeah. I think it's important to know that. I've been encouraging many in my group to make sure that they start to build up a little bit of a reservoir. When the government was giving up those stimulus checks, I highly recommend to take half of that and invest in yourself, to put some away. So if around income tax time or whatever, whenever you have some discretionary cash, I think everybody should be putting it away. So I'm glad that you shared that information. So the best choice, or the best bundle here, in our opinion, is Dr. Prasad's choice. I asked him a question. I forgot to get back to that on Sunday, Jeff, about that Lewy body dementia. So I sent him a follow-up text message or email today asking him about it. And there's a strong argument that the person who's dealing with Lewy body dementia should consider adding the Dr. Prasad's choice bundle to their body. So this person is very similar to what was happening with Michi Morris's mother. But Lewy body dementia takes it to a whole nother level. There's a different mechanism of action taking place inside the body. So he said that person needs to go beyond collagen daily. So anyway, we're going to be trying to get them started. So hopefully we'll have maybe another story to share in a couple of weeks or so. But for those who are here now, you can see it's only $200. And someone might be saying to themselves, well, I don't have $200. Well, like Jeff said, what's her name? Our opening story. Why am I forgetting her name? I got to take some more brain boosts. Martha Lawrence was sharing how much money she was spending prior to going on this program. So she replaced hundreds of dollars in supplements that weren't doing any good with the Dr. Prasad's products. So, but if you don't want to take the eye boosting, you're not concerned about, preserving your vision, then just go with the premium bundle. It's only $166. And so that's a good way to go as well. So get back with the person who invited you to this meeting tonight, and they'll help you set up a subscription. You get those special prices now if you go on subscription. So we highly recommend that you do that. And you'll want to make sure that you put the collagen on subscription before the end of this month, because that special price, if you do this month, put it on your subscription, you'll keep the $59.95 price all the way to the end of the year for the Collagen Daily. So that's a good way to go, to add that to your subscription. So let's see if there's any questions. We'll take maybe just one or two questions we have time for now. We were trying to keep ourselves to 30 minutes if at all possible. So, but if there are any questions, now's the time. And remember, folks, there's no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question is the unasked question. So, because if you're thinking it, somebody else is probably thinking it also, or wondering about it. But there are some frequently asked questions too, Jeff, that often come up. You know, some people have said, are there any side effects? So what can you tell us about the side effects of these products?
There are none. All we have is the body's responses.
Your answer, Jeff.
Yeah, I know. I'm just telling you, they're all just responses of the body. They're not, don't look at them as negative. Let me.
It does manifest itself. It's not a side effect.
It's not a side effect. It is not a forced reaction.
Mm-hmm.
We're so used to the body reacting to something because that's the way that we've been taught, and that's the drug mechanism. Is it goes after a particular cause, and then we notice the reaction that the body makes. That's why you can go into GNC or, you know, any store or a lot of other companies that have a ton of different products for different reasons, and it's causing the body to react. We are supporting the body in a response. And so let me give you one that just I've shared it quite a few times, but I had an individual that had spent 35 years as a tile setter, you know, bathroom tile, kitchen floor tile, had his hands in a lot of those tile chemicals. He gets about 2 or so weeks into his experience with the Micro Daily, and I can remember the call. He is just like, I am so allergic to this stuff. It's preventing me from working. My hands have broken out. I am so allergic to it. I've got all these little spots all over my fingers, and they're just. It is so difficult to deal with.
He was thinking that Micro Daily was causing all of that reaction on his hands.
Well, it was supporting the body's response because I had him just kind of open up a couple of those little white, it wasn't pus. He opens them up and he goes, it smells like my tile setting chemicals. And so over the last 35 years, his hand had taken in all of these chemicals. And a couple of weeks into it, the Micro Daily supporting the body's natural response. The body doesn't want to take all of that garbage and run it through the entire bloodstream and try and filter out naturally. It had been holding it out there, keeping it as far away from the important organs in the body as it could. But with the support of the micronutrition, it was pushing it right out through the skin. It took him about 3 days, and those were all healed up. And he says the pain that he had in all of those joints, he would get up in the morning, it was all he could do to just uncurl his fingers. Wow. Because of all of those toxins that were there, and the body just pushed them right out to the surface. And so somebody could have thought, oh, that's a side effect. No, that's the body's response to being supported nutritionally.
I sat through a lecture by Dr. Nkuzi once, and he was describing the space between our cells, and this microscopic space is called the matrix, and there's all kinds of space there. And he said toxins can actually get there, reside there, and in time, they can become carcinogenic. He says, so if you can do anything to the body to reach down into the matrix, I had never seen anything other than one of the products that he had formulated that had the ability to get into the matrix and pull toxins out that way. So that's not a surprise at all.
Yeah.
So that's
I should say once again, it's not the microdaily doing it. It's the body that is feeling supported. And so the body is pushing it out. It's saying, let's move this around in the body. And so, yeah, if I've been on two separate calls today where people's initial reactions, we're 2 weeks or, almost a month into it, and their situation is getting a little worse.
Yeah.
And when I explain kind of what's going on, and they look at other aspects of their health and what their body is doing, they both went, "Oh, you're right."
That's right. That's right. So Herxheimer effect describes something similar. So it's not always just a detox reaction, but the body responding and doing what it's designed to do. If something doesn't belong, shortest pathway out, it'll take it. Very good. Very good.
I'll just share. And this was from one of the calls that I did today. An individual started having a little bit of a racing heart, and it kind of panicked him. And he's saying, "Oh, I had this situation several years ago, and I was concerned about it. And now the microdailies caused my heart to do that." And it's like, just okay, step back a little bit and understand that how else is it going to? Because our entire plumbing system in our body is very pliable.
Yeah.
But when it starts getting packed with all kinds of stuff in there, how do you break it up? How do you start to loosen it? And sometimes getting a little bit of a racing heart is enough to expand those, stretch them a little bit, and give the body the ability to flush it out. Yep. And I mentioned that to him because he's also had some issues with blood sugars. Mm-hmm. And he says, "I've noticed that I'm getting some spikes." And he says, it's like I have my resting blood sugar as if I had cake and 2 helpings of ice cream last night. And I said, "No, I wonder if it's registering some of that stuff that's sloughing off inside of your plumbing system as an artificial sugar reading." And they said, because they didn't feel like their sugar level was up there. And so,
a diet does play a role. Diet does play a role, just like Bertha said. And this is for anyone. Look at the labels. If you see maltodextrin on the label, you should know that will behave in your body like you just ate a bucket of sugar. It doesn't taste it. They use it as fillers in a lot of things. So look for maltodextrin and stay away from it. Your liver interprets that as sugar. That's one thing that you can do to help yourself, especially if you're a diabetic and you're trying to stop a lot of those peaks and valleys that just shouldn't be there. So it's those hidden things in products that can create that. Maltodextrin is worse than monosodium glutamate, by the way, MSG. So it's worse on the body than that. Nothing's worse than glyphosate, though, weed killer. So by the way, they just a new study was just released where they tested the urine and found that 80% of all adults and children tested positive for glyphosate in their urine. 80%. So you want to go to as non-GMO as you can and as organic as you can. This is a brand new study now. So we're talking about, that's most of the people in the whole country that are consuming weed killer. It's a known carcinogen. And Monsanto and Bayer have paid out tens of billions of dollars in damages because of it. So, but you can do yourself a favor by avoiding MSG, maltodextrin, weed killer. So cut that out of your diet. So there you have it, folks. Thank you all very much for joining us. And listen, if you have someone that needs to hear a presentation, we're going to be sharing some information this coming Thursday night, Thursday evening at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Same Zoom ID information, same password. So come back and join us again on Thursday. So especially for those who have not had a presentation, they want to understand how microdaily and collagen daily work, we'll be talking about it this coming Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then every week on Sunday at 5 o'clock. So now you have the schedule, right? Sunday, 5 o'clock, Tuesday, 7:30, Thursday, 6 p.m. So that's the schedule for the time being. We may actually be adding some more days from there. And in between there, there's all kinds of other corporate sponsored events. So we have any events coming up this week, Jeff, from home?
We do, and it's on that very night where we're going to be getting together at 6 p.m. because just what is it, like an hour and a half from then, we've got Dr. Michelle Millen is going to be on live with Dr. Prasad.
Oh,
and with Dr. Millen's background, being a formulator, a former owner of a nutritional products company herself, she knows her stuff. And like you, Jonathan, it's going to be an incredible interview about collagen. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Thursday is going to be an incredible evening. And Jonathan, I'm really grateful that for your team, for those people that are on here tonight, that we're doing these regularly and consistent, because this is a place where you can bring your guests. This is a place where you can come and you can, just in a short period of time, get your questions answered. And it's a fantastic forum to expose others to this, because that's really all we're doing. This is about education. Have we pushed the products tonight? Have we even talked about the business? No, we've shared testimonies. We've shared some information, and you basically have access to Jonathan and I on here for all of your questions. And then, once, twice a month, Jonathan is fortunate to have Dr. Prasad himself in person right here. So
That's right.
Good job.
He's committed on the 31st of the month. So we'll have Dr. Prasad once again. So everybody build to that day. And I think we should be able to hit about 200 that day, Jeff. I don't see how we cannot hit 200 in attendance on that day at the end of the month, so that's the time. So thank you, Jeff, very much for your help and your depth of knowledge and expertise. It has been quite invaluable. And so, folks, again, for the record, we've shared with you that we encourage you to seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. Don't do anything we say to do just because we say do it. This is for educational and informational purposes solamente, only. So thank you all very much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again Thursday at 6 o'clock and then at 7:30 with Dr. Michelle Millen and Dr. Prasad. Okay. So good night, everybody. Thank you again. All right, Jeff.
Good night. Take care.
Good night. Thank you all. Thank you, Jeff.
You bet. Take care, Dolores. Congratulations.
Good night.
Freedom. Alfreda and Dolores, new Freedom Ones. Oh my goodness, you ladies. Way to do it. Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mamie Nesbitt, way to go. No, I'm sure I'm probably missing some others. Oh, Rob, absolutely. Good job.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
More detailed and specific